It's Mike and the Feather here, and we thank you for tuning back in once again. Please remember to like and subscribe during this video at some point to show us you appreciate the content. And we always welcome any comments down below for what you think we could do better or what you'd like to see in future videos. Last week, we went 5-7-1 on the picks. Actually, our first losing week in a couple of weeks, but you were still 2-1 on the Take It to the Bank picks, the ones that really matter. So got a really good streak going so far with your Take It to the Bank picks, Jason. It's a good job.
Yeah, I think Taking the Bank is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 11-4 maybe, or somewhere in that neighborhood for the last 15. Last week was a weird week for sure. Once again, crazy surprises. The Chiefs somehow managed to win again, right? That's unbelievable. But so it was another fun week, and we got 4 more to go. And it's crazy how fast time is going.
And as you can probably see, we're back to doing a remote setup. I don't sound like it right now because I'm hopped up on a lot of Dayquil, but I have turned 49 and came right down with a little bit of a flu. So I didn't want to get the Feather family infected. So we're doing it remotely today, and I will hold up for as long as I can. And that said, guys, once again, please like and subscribe, and let's just get into it. Let's look at all of the Feathers picks for NFL Week 15. Let's open up with Thursday night at 5:15 p.m. We have the LA Rams sitting at 7-6 versus the San Francisco 49ers sitting at 6-7. 49ers coming off of a big win against the Chicago Bears. Finally, somebody beat the Bears without having to beat them on the last play or in the last minute. 49ers look good even without CMC, and they are going to be the 2.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, last week was both teams definitely had a great week. The 49ers obviously beat the brakes off the Bears, but that's, it's the Bears. But the Rams, on the other hand, Buffalo came to, the Rams' home stadium, and they put up a ton of points and got the W and held off Josh Allen, who had another career and NFL record-breaking game, 3 touchdowns passing and rushing, which is unbelievable. But the Rams still win. Now this matchup, a huge division battle. The Niners are on life support to be able to make the playoffs, possibly. The Rams, on the other hand, are trending upward and just a notch behind the Seattle Seahawks. The Niners did lose their top running back, Guerrero. She's the number 3 actually on the roster, but with the other 2 out for the year, he's number 1, and I'm not sure if he's going to be good to go this week or not. It looks he's questionable at best. That's a problem for the Niners. This is a well-coached team. Of course, any Shanahan coach has been a solid coach throughout the years, and the Niners look tough, but they looked good last week. But I do not know if they're going to hold up well. Purdy took a hit last week again. He got up. He's okay. This Rams team with this offense, with Puka healthy, Kupp healthy, Kyren Williams looking great, and Matt Stafford, they were able to block for him, and last week, and he was able to get off a lot of big plays. I would never have thought at the beginning of the year that I'd be saying the Niners are most likely going to lose this game, but the fact that the Niners are only 2.5-point favorites at home says a lot and speaks volumes. And I do believe that in this one, the Rams, we're going to take the Rams plus 2.5. I think the Rams offense is going to be too much. I think with no running game coming up for the Niners, the Rams are not the Chicago Bears. And the Niners are going to find out this week that all their deficits on defense and they're missing players on offense. Get ready to weather a nasty storm as the Rams win this game outright, I predict, but take the Rams plus 2.5.
I just discovered is a 49ers fan. Former world heavyweight champion in WWE and the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He was tweeting out Niner Gang after their victory this weekend.
Roman Reigns a fan, huh?
Got to put the ones up for Roman.
There you
Let's move on to Sunday at 10. I'm sick, but I'm still freaking hilarious. A little shorter morning because we have some later games in the afternoon and 2 on Monday this week. Washington Commanders coming off a bye after a big game, 8-5 in the division. 8-5 in the NFL, and second in their division. They are at the New Orleans Saints, who are 5-8. Commanders are 7-point favorites on the road, and I do believe Derek Carr is once again fighting off or has now sustained a hand injury.
I think it's safe to say Derek Carr most likely will not play this week. The spread does kind of reflect that. The Commanders, on the other hand, kind of riding the ship, and they've been playing some good football again. I just don't see a path for the Saints that did kind of, rally a little bit. And granted, it was a victory against the Giants that they almost lost. Commanders is going to be easy peasy. I'm going to take Commanders -7. The Giants right now are tied for the, shot for the number 1 seed, and the fact that they almost won last week and blew that up is the Giants can't even lose correctly when they should lose. Now, I understand that teams aren't going to, officially tank, or they at least don't admit it. But in this case, it's in the best interest of the Giants to not win another game, so they can at least get one of the top 2 draft picks for sure.
And then the Miami Dolphins are next up at the Houston Texans. Dolphins 6-7. They came off a win this weekend after recovering from the loss to your Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving night. Texans are 8-5, a little bit of a skid, but they are the 3-point favorites at home, even though the Dolphins do seem revitalized with Tua at the helm, and as long as he's standing upright.
Yeah, I mean, one good thing for the Dolphins in this one is it's not outdoors and it's not going to be a cold weather game. Outside of Miami, they tend to struggle, especially obviously when it's a colder game. The Texans coming off a bye. I was kind of battling with this game in my head for the last couple days. The Dolphins, they held par like I thought they would lose to Green Bay. They would beat the Jets, although the Jets gave them a fit and almost pulled it out. And of course, they fell short. Now it kind of comes down to the Texans. They got healthier. Nico Collins is back 100% again. CJ Stroud underperformed to start the year. He's gotten better as of late, but I think this team's only going to improve as the season goes on in the last 4 weeks. The Dolphins, they're going to fall short this one. I like the Texans and Joe Mixon in this offense to kind of take advantage of this Miami defense that's struggling. I think that their offense will be enough to counteract the offense of Miami. Take the Texans -3 at home in a huge game for the Texans. Unfortunately, Miami, it looks like it's going to be a curtain call for you, because I think after this, your season's pretty much over. Texans -3.
Turning to another team in that same division who we hesitated to call the season over, but we knew it was. The New York Jets at 3-10, at the Jacksonville Jaguars sitting at 3-10. Jacksonville Jaguars pulled off a win this past week. Jets are 3-point favorites on the road. Neither team is playing for anything. I'm more interested if you think we've seen the end of Aaron Rodgers in New York.
I do not believe Aaron Rodgers will be back in New York. I think that the franchise organization, everyone is kind of over the Aaron Rodgers project. As far as the Jaguars go, another team like the Giants that don't even know how to lose correctly. I mean, what are they doing winning last week? It makes no sense. They're still a terrible team, and they got a lot to figure out, especially with Trevor Lawrence out for the year. The Jets, on the other hand, I don't even know why they're keeping Aaron Rodgers in the field. This team needs to figure it out, and I guess there's really nothing to figure out the rest of the year. It's not like they have a quarterback in wait that's going to be the future, so I guess might as well let him play it out for, I don't know, whatever reason. I guess it's a consolation prize. I don't even know what the point of the Jets winning are. They should probably just lose, right? I mean, is there any reason for the Jets to win a football game? But guess what? The Jaguars are that bad that, yes, I'm once again going to pick the freaking Jets, Mike, okay? I'm going to pick the Jets. I'm disgusted with myself as I say it. How can I pick with the Jaguars in this spot? Can Aaron Rodgers have any self-worth or pride anymore? I mean, the guy, he talks a game, but he doesn't win anything. He literally makes Zach Wilson look like a Pro Bowler. I guess instead of going into caves of darkness and drinking his bourbon and everything else and not focusing on football like he should is showing, and his attitude is just garbage. But the Jets are going to pull this out -3 because I just don't see a world where Jacksonville is going to be able to hang here. Jets are going to win this game. They're going to win it convincingly. And yes, Mike, take it to the bank. New York Jets. The definition of insanity is keeping on doing the same thing, hoping for different results. But at this point, the results can be different. The Jets are going to get off the schneid, get the W. Jets -3, take it to the bank. Boom.
I agree with everything there, but saying the Jets are going to get off the schneid. I mean, you can't really get off this schneid. This is the schneid right down to the bottom. They're just going to make the landing from the schneid a little bit better. And then let's move on. The fourth game for Sunday, the Cincinnati Bengals at 6-8 at the Tennessee Titans, sitting at 3-10. Bengals are 5-point favorites on the road, and I guess they figured out what they have to do. They needed to add the Simpsons to the team because the Bart and Lisa connection was live. If you watch this ESPN special event,
let's not give them that much credit. I believe they are 5-8 actually, Mike. So they're not.
Oh, it's your writing. I'm sorry. Again, I just turned 49. I'm sick, and my eyesight is going.
Hey, the Bengals got the win, and I believe that they're going to play hard this game as well because, like what Joe Burrow said last night, you could tell he was just disgusted because they won the game, and he goes, "It might have been a win, all for naught. That means it's meaningless." And that was him basically saying, "Hey, they might already be SOL for playoffs," which it's hard to imagine a world without the Bengals in the playoffs with this offense. Unfortunately, their defense is so poor that no matter, even though Joe Burrow is literally having an MVP season by far, he's probably not going to get it because of the team's record. Now, I do believe if the Bengals run the table, Joe Burrow keeps doing what he's doing, I think he could get the MVP. It's most valuable player. It didn't say most valuable player to take your team to the playoffs. I don't see it happening. I think Josh Allen has done so much right now that he's got it short of a complete breakdown. As far as the Bengals, they have a meeting coming up with the Denver Broncos, which is going to be key for a wild card situation because if they can beat the Broncos and get that tiebreaker and somehow the Broncos don't clear the 10-win threshold, that will open up the door for the Bengals to make the playoffs, especially if they beat the Broncos and if they both finish with 9 wins. So the Bengals are going to play hard this week because they don't know by the time this game is played how the Broncos will have done. So take the Bengals all the way to the bank. They're going to blow the Titans out of the water. If the Jacksonville Jaguars can beat Tennessee, logically in my brain, I can't imagine how the Bengals won't beat Tennessee. But nothing makes sense this year. Things are crazy. But take the Bengals -5 all day long. Take it to the bank. Boom. Cash that money.
I don't really want to read this next one. Can we just skip it and you give the pick?
No.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is about to be the game with the second biggest spread by half a point of the entire season. The Baltimore Ravens at 8-5 are at the New York Giants at 2-11. The Giants have now kicked the mascot off the team as the quarterback, and they have a sign out front saying all applicants will be considered. Ravens are 15-point favorites on the road against the Giants. I'm just laughing because it's just ridiculous.
So normally this huge spread is very tough to take, but the Giants are so embarrassing. The Ravens coming off of a bye situation. They're going to come out firing. Enough said. We're not going to talk anymore about it. Ravens -15. Take the points, -15 to cover the spread over the Giants, who literally, it doesn't matter what they do. They're getting blown out of the water this game. Forget about it.
Fair enough. You're actually turning the ship around on your picks with the Chiefs. So the Kansas City Chiefs at 12-1. Let's not even get into it. They looked horrible this last game. They pull out a win again. The Bengals are the best 5-8 team. The Chiefs might be the worst 12-1 team ever. The Chiefs are at the Cleveland Browns, who are just bad for the last 20 years. Browns are 3-10. Chiefs are 4-point favorites on the road.
So what doesn't seem right here? You got a 3-10 team versus a 12-1 team.
And it's only 4.
The Browns are a 4-point favorite when you get 3 points at home. That's insane. I mean, what does that tell you about the Chiefs? That they're only a 4-point favorite. And it tells you that they shouldn't be 12-1, first of all. But yes, they keep finding a way in some crazy Taylor Swift witchcraft that's going on. I'm not sure. But the bottom line is, take the Browns plus the 4 at home. I think this could be a definite upset. Jameis Winston, as long as he's winging it, but he's not winging it for pick sixes, I think that this team with that defense could get it done. But for sure, the 4 points, I love that extra point over the field goal. Vegas puts out that line for a reason. Bottom line, Chiefs either lose this game or don't cover the spread. They haven't covered all year. And maybe Vegas knows that too. Maybe they put out that carrot saying, hey, we don't believe in the Chiefs and they're going to rake up because the Chiefs will win by double digits. But I don't think so. I think the Browns have enough pride and enough moxie to want to come in here and embarrass the Chiefs if possible. And I think the Chiefs finally fall again. Like I said, they were going to lose 3 games yet between now and the year end. So they're going to lose 3 out of the next 4. That's the bottom line. They're losing 3 out of the next last 4 games. And why not start right now? Browns +4. Boom.
Last morning game, Dallas Cowboys, that's who the Bengals played last night in Springfield. Effectively kind of done here at 5-8 at the Carolina Panthers, who also decided to find a way to win a game for no good reason this week. And they get to be a 2.5-point favorite at home because of that. 3-10 team against America's team at 5-8, 2.5-point favorites. What's going on?
The Cowboys have fallen this much that a 3-10 team is a favorite against them. That tells you all I need to know about the Cowboys. The playoff hopes are over. Mail it in. It's a wrap. How hard are they going to play this week? I mean, CeeDee Lamb, who has that shoulder issue, is there any reason for him to play this week? I don't know. I don't think he should play. I mean, he's their big money guy. Why put him out there? I mean, when he made that big play, but then he went down hard on his shoulder last week, they were still playing for something. Now it's over. The Cowboys have fallen that far that they're catching points against a 3-10 team. But we're going to take the Cowboys plus 2.5. The Cowboys are going to have enough heart in this game. The plus 2.5, I think the Cowboys will still be able to win this game outright. I think that the Panthers have improved and Bryce Young is looking good. But I think the Cowboys have enough heart in them. Even though Michael Parsons is just disgusted with this team right now, I think they have enough heart that they can get the W against a Carolina team that really, I don't know what their motivation is to win. I mean, they should probably try to be part of the top draft sweepstakes as well. This time of year is tricky, guys, because there's so many of these games that you don't know what the motives are each of these teams are, okay? So what's the motive of the Panthers? Are they trying to win games? Obviously, they tried to beat the Eagles, right? That's where it gets tricky on betting. That's why I stick to the the bank picks for the most part this time of year, unless otherwise said. But I'm going to give the Cowboys the edge here, just hoping that they have enough pride that they're going to try to continue to win. And I believe the Panthers would benefit to lose this game.
To the afternoon games, everything starting at 1:25 this week. Onward to the afternoon games. Games are starting at 1:25 p.m., and we're going to start our picks with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-3, having a heck of a season. At the Philadelphia Eagles, screw those guys, at 11-2. The Eagles are 5-point favorites at home. Nearly cost one sports bettor, what was it, $3 million, $4 million?
$3.1 million. He was sweating it out, and it came down to a catch that was not a catch, but it was close. That with inside a minute, that would have gave the Panthers the lead.
And it was like $3 million to win $400,000, right?
Yeah, 3 million to win 420,000, something like that ballpark.
We're outside the first 60 seconds, so I can say this. That is the epitome of fuck you money. If you can just blow that, I'm gonna gamble $3 million just to make 400,000 that I don't apparently need.
So Steelers Eagles, the public seems to be on the Steelers as of right now in the early going of the week. The Eagles have a lot to play for yet. Obviously, they're trying to lock up that number one seed, a game behind the Detroit Lions. Saquon Barkley's trying to chase history. You got Eric Dickerson. He's trying to chase the all-time rushing yards leader for the season. Steelers are playing well. They find a way. I mean, 10-3. This team was maybe going to be at the beginning of the year somewhere in the neighborhood of an 8-9 win team, and they're 10-3, and they just keep on winning. Pretty hard to disagree with that. George Pickens is banged up. He did not play last week. I do not know if he'll play at this point this coming week. I'm leaning towards they're going to be very safe and cautious with him and think the bigger picture, being that it's going to be very hard for them to catch up to the Chiefs or the Bills. It's possible because they do play the Chiefs later this year, this month on Christmas. But I think the Eagles at home will be the difference. Saquon Barkley will be the difference. There is some rumors going on that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts have some drama. And basically, they're not getting along. They're not the friends they were. It appears to be on the field carrying over because A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts have not been on the same page for the last 3-4 weeks. But the Eagles at home are going to do it. They're going to get it done. The Eagles cover -5. We're going to fly, Eagle fly once again. Saquon Barkley is going to be the X factor. Sorry, Steeler Nation, the towels are not going to be waving, but they'll be wiping tears from your face as the Steelers lose by double digits to the Philadelphia Eagles this week.
Take us to the next game, which is probably the more important to the first team here. The Buffalo Bills at 10-3, coming off that 2-point loss in the largest scoring game of the season at the Detroit Lions, who were 12-1. Lions are 2.5-point favorites at home. And they obviously don't want to lose any cushion they have, but I think this game is much more serious for the Bills if they lose than if the Lions lose.
I mean, it's huge for both. I mean, because the Lions will lose their not lose, but they'll be closer to losing the number one seed, which is very important to them. They want the Super Bowl to go through Detroit. The Bills, though, this line's defense is devastated. Green Bay showed last week that short of a couple bad, officiating calls when they called a pick play wrongfully, they didn't call a offensive pass interference on Amon-Ra St. Brown. It all changed the whole situation. Dan Campbell, the Cowboy, went for it like 5 out of 6 times. 6 times on fourth down, converted 5 out of 6, I believe. But this Lions defense is just bad, and Green Bay exposed that. Green Bay didn't have the greatest offensive game last week. Jordan Love didn't put up 1,000,000 yards or anything like that, and they still hung 30 on them. The Bills, give me a break. I mean, the Bills are without a couple key offensive players the last few weeks, and they're still hanging crazy points. What is Josh Allen going to do to this defensive, backfield and front of the Lions that they're not getting as much pressure as they should? Biggest thing is I hope the Bills players are healthy when it comes said and done, because there is one player from Detroit that likes to undercut at the knees and create season-ending injuries. He tried to do it against Tucker Kraft, and hopefully the Bills can stay healthy and no dirty hits come from that Lions defender. But the Bills are going to get done. The Bills catching points, are you kidding me? I like the Bills because Detroit will not be able to stop them. Detroit will be able to hang. Their offense is solid. I think Jared Goff is going to make mistakes because I don't think they're going to be able to run as much. They're going to get taken out of their game plan because the Bills offense might very well hang 40+ this week. Take the Bills all the way to the bank, cash it in. A lot of people think this could be a potential Super Bowl matchup. We'll find out. Bills plus 2.5, take it to the bank all day long. Boom.
Two teams still looking for positioning here, or getting in and or positioning. Indianapolis Colts are sitting at 6-7 at the Denver Broncos, who are 8-5. Broncos are 4-point favorites at home, and like you said, this game matters probably more to the Bengals than anybody else.
Yeah, this is huge for the Bengals. I mean, the Colts are pretty much in a spot where they're still vying for a hopeful playoff spot, but and this could head them in the right direction, correct? I mean, they can still win potentially 10 games. The Bengals will definitely be cheering for the Colts big time in this one because the Broncos get to 9 wins. They're 1 game away from locking out the Bengals no matter what they do. The Broncos at home have been great. Bo Nix has been a pleasant surprise. Sean Payton has turned this franchise around after basically being terrible the last 8+ years. The Colts coming off a bye, they're rested. Richardson's got another week of extra rest and practice. I mean, he's shown improvement since he got benched, which was supposed to be a benching for the rest of the year, but that didn't happen. The difference is going to be they're in Denver. And I think this Bronco defense, which didn't play great against Cleveland, but I think that they're going to get it done this week against the Colts in Denver with this team, and this offense is playing well enough. The Colts, on the other hand, will continue to have their problems. The Broncos -4. Take the Broncos to cover the 4. I wish it was, 3. I would recommend staying away from this game if me personally. But Broncos -4, if you got to go with something, take the Broncos. Boom.
All right. In the middle of the pack right here, we got two teams sitting in mid to low playoff positioning as of entering Week 15. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7-6 record at the San Diego Chargers an 8-5 record. Chargers are a 3-point favorite at home, and like I said, I think the Buccaneers are in the 4 spot right now, and the Chargers are in the 6 spot. So big game for them as far as staying with their grasp on where they are in the playoffs now.
Yeah, the Chargers have definitely had some heartbreak. Most recently, a field goal against good old Kansas City. So Jim Harbaugh's got them playing well. He's coaching them well. Their passing game, they were down. Their top running back, J.K. Dobbins, are going to be down him this week too. He'll be back hopefully by, I believe, hopefully week 17. They're saying McConkey, their rookie wide receiver, that's been a really good player this year, all year long. He was hurt and out last week. He was a late scratch. That really hurt the team. And in spite of all that, they still managed to be so close to getting the victory. This week, different game, different team. The Buccaneers facing some injuries as well. They got Evans back, but now Bucky Irving got re-injured last week. And I'm not sure where he stands as of right now. I believe he's questionable. The Buccaneers defense, especially against the pass, has been pretty bad. This Charger team as of late. The offense has looked pretty good. Quentin Johnston made a huge catch last week, even after he took an illegal hit as well, and he held on to it, which he's been butterfingers this year. And a lot of people, he was supposed to take a step up last year and this year for sure, but he's kind of had his ups and downs. Hopefully he'll be on the upside. The Chargers at home. We're going to take the Chargers -3. I think they're going to get it done, and they're going to cover the spread. They're coached very well. Don't get me wrong, Baker Mayfield's playing good football, his best of his career by far, and he continues to do great things. But I think the difference will be the Jim Harbaugh, this defense, which is really good. I think this offense will get over on the Buccaneers this time, and the Chargers cover the 3.
Let's finish off the afternoon with the game. Kind of doesn't have a whole lot of relevance here. New England Patriots 3-10 at the Arizona Cardinals, who have basically fell off. They're at 6-7. They're effectively out of the playoffs, barring some of those really weird circumstances of specific proportions, but teams' losses versus their wins. But they are 4.5 favorite at home for this one.
Losing a tiebreaker to Seattle overall, plus being a couple games back, has really set them back with 4 to go. The good thing for them is they got Seattle playing Green Bay this week, so that could prove to be tough for Seattle. So the Cardinals are definitely still live. They definitely are on life support. They needed that win at home last week, which they killed us, and that was our sole taking the bank loss. But the Patriots are the Patriots. They're 3-10. Another team that who knows what their goal is. Are they trying to win the last 4 games? I mean, every team claims they try to win, but do they really try to win? I have to feel like there's teams that definitely tank, and no one ever admits it. 3-10, what's their motivation to win? There is none. Don't touch this game just because I feel like it's a game you just lay off of, but the Cardinals -4.5, I'll take them to cover the spread. I'm not happy about it, but at home, I'm counting on them with James Conner, who's been playing great all year. Kyler Murray, for the most part, has been playing solid. I think they'll do enough to take care of the Patriots and get the W and still be in the race for the playoffs in the division.
Sunday Night Football, 5:20 p.m. Green Bay Packers, 9-4, are at the Seattle Seahawks, 8-5. The Packers on the road in Seattle are 2.5-point favorites. Packers going to start making a move now? Wrap it up?
I mean, fun fact about their division, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Packers have not lost to a team outside each other since the month of October, which pretty much means that Green Bay, and Minnesota lost to Detroit essentially. So, but I mean, that's what I mean. If you look at Green Bay's 4 losses, they lost to the number 2 seed Philadelphia to start the year. They lost to Minnesota, who's the essentially the 3rd best team in the NFC. They lost to Detroit. Is it twice now? I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, twice. Green Bay's 4 losses, the number 1 team twice, the number 2 team once, and the number 3 team once. Not a bad resume of losses, right? A lot of harsh memories as a Green Bay fan in Seattle, okay? They lost in the NFC Championship game by crazy, epic fumble-rooski, botched ball on a onside kick and countless other stupid plays. The Seahawks team is playing well as of late, though. They're 8-5. They definitely have games they should have lost besides this, that they got lucky. Green Bay coming into Seattle 2.5-point favorites. I love it. I'm going to continue to ride Green Bay because they know how to win and they know how to cover spreads when they don't win. Bottom line, Green Bay coming into Seattle, take it to the bank. They're going to get it done once again. They've been good to us this year. They're going to continue to be good to us this year. Green Bay's going to get the win. They're going to lock up a playoff spot. Boom.
Take us to Monday night. We got 2 games going, starting the first one at 5 p.m. And speaking of teams in that division feeding the other teams their wins, the Chicago Bears at 4-9 versus the Minnesota Vikings at 11-2. Still, we didn't expect that at all this season. Vikings are a touchdown favorite, 7 points, and extra kick at home.
Yeah, we're not going to waste much time in this one. Don't bet this game. Easy set, I'm going to take the Vikings -7, the cover, because you cannot rely on the Bears in any way, shape, or form. They have problems. The team is toxic. The franchise is toxic. The ownership is toxic. And I just don't think this team has any will to win. And I frankly don't think that they have the capability to win with who's at the coaching position at this point, how the team's being ran. I'm not saying Caleb Williams is a complete failure. He's a rookie. It is what it is. He's been put in situations due to bad coaching that has hindered him, but he's also been part of the problem. I would love, as a Packer fan, to have the Vikings lose this one to help the Green Bay Packers out. I don't see it happening. Take the Vikings at home, -7. Boom.
And then 30 minutes after that one starts at 5:30, we finish off with the Atlanta Falcons at 6-7, talking about being on the schneid. And at the Las Vegas Raiders, the schneid has not ended for the 3 or 4 years they've been here. They are at 2-11. Basically, Kirk Cousins is playing for his job, and if the Raiders are smart, they're not playing for anything because they want to lock up that number 1 draft pick from my New York Giants. So, and also, who's even now, speaking of quarterbacks, who's starting for them? Is MGM going to have a random lottery, like win a high hand of poker, get to start for the Raiders?
The Raiders should just forfeit. That's the best thing they could do at this point. They're embarrassing. They're going to try to win the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes, which we'll see how he pans out in the NFL. I'm not super high on him, but he's sounding like the consensus number 1 draft pick. Travis Hunter probably at number 2 is what it's kind of shaping up to be, depending on who gets the number 1 draft pick. This Falcons team is just frustrating. I keep going to bat for these guys, and Kirk Cousins, man, is it a possibility Michael Penix isn't as good as we think he should or could be? I mean, what's the hesitation to stick with Kirk Cousins? Like, why are they sticking with him? I mean, he's literally just losing this team game after game after game. I would have thought they would have made the switch, but I think they're going to keep riding Kirk Cousins at least another week for sure. But they're riding Kirk Cousins right out of the playoff hunt. They went from division leader to behind a team that's playing very well in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Falcons will get the win here. Okay, they're going to get the win. I mean, they keep burning me. They're not going to be a take to the bank. Don't bet this game. The Falcons -4 seems trappy because they should be able to blow this Raider team out of the water. For some reason, it's 4. So what that means in translation is the Falcons are going to win by less than 4. Okay, I'm predicting right now. The Falcons get the win. Very well, there's a good chance that they don't cover the spread. So just stay away from it. I'm not going to be as cynical this time, and I'm going to say that they're going to cover the spread, but don't be surprised if they don't. Stay away from this game. Watch it if you want to, if you're really bored. Otherwise, there's better things to do on a Monday night. Maybe it's time to go look at Christmas lights out around the town on Monday night or watch a holiday show, because watching both these football games is really not going to do anything for your life or anything else for that matter.
And
hey, that's the wife and I did that last night. We went on a drive around town and got some hot coffee and checked out the Christmas lights around Vegas, and that was kind of a nice time. So
it's always weird with a late Thanksgiving, really only 4 or 5 days apart from the earliest possible Thanksgiving, but it seems like if it wasn't around the corner right now, Christmas is sneaking up on your door. And so is 2025.
Yes, it is.
Still mind-boggling. So we always say we're going to be at Westgate and something happens. I think we're going to be there this coming Sunday. I am going to edit a video and get some sleep because starting off 49 years old, it's being sick has not been the greatest thing.
Yeah, get better, man.
Thanks for working with me on the remote podcast. And everybody, thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, or at least give us a comment down below. 1,000 of you watching each week. We'd love to hear from at least 20% of you. Why not set a goal? Let's see if we can get 200 comments this week, even if it's just, yeah, you guys suck. I don't care at this point.
Until next time, guys, we'll see you next week. We're getting closer to the holiday. And until then, take it to the bank. Boom.
And by the way, if we don't suck, Jason, tell them who always sucks.
The Bears always suck, Michael. That's what happens. The Bears still suck.